Joining us now, we have Jackie O'Neill, insurance broker with Goosehead Insurance. Jackie, welcome.
Well, thanks for having me, Ryan.
Yeah, we've been chatting for a little bit about having you on. I think very timely in that we're here in the thick of spring and summer in Cincinnati and lots of storms out there, and some folks are finding out that maybe not all insurance is equal.
Absolutely.
So what are some things, that either our would-be home buyers or maybe even renters or what have you should be looking at with insurance?
Well, I think the topic on everyone's mind now is price. Everything is going up. And I would suggest talk to an insurance agent. We're here for a reason. We're here to help.
Right.
So if you can understand your coverage, understand your options, you're going to find that you spend the dollars most wisely.
Gotcha.
Know what to expect if you do have a claim.
Right. Yeah, very important up front. Expectations are everything in both of our worlds. So yeah, knowing up front what to expect should the unforeseen happen, right?
Right.
So what are some variables then that someone should be looking at with their insurance?
Well, you mentioned renter's insurance,
Yeah.
and that's something that not enough people have. So when you buy a home, most people are not only wanting insurance, they have to have it if they have a mortgage, so that's great. Renters, on the other hand, aren't usually required to have it. Some landlords will make it mandatory in the lease, but most of the time not. And most renters, not most maybe, but many assume that their landlord's policy will cover them, and that's not right. So having current insurance when you're shopping for a new policy is actually a behind-the-scenes positive factor that can help lower your rate. But also it's good to have the insurance. So if you are the tenant, you or maybe your teenager is cooking, starts a kitchen fire, so you can lose everything in the unit. That's personal property coverage. You might have to live somewhere else while it's being fixed. That's loss of use.
Oh, yeah.
And then after your landlord's insurance policy pays to fix the damage, they're coming after you.
They're coming for you.
Coming for you, or your insurance, because fire legal liability is part of the renter's policy.
Gotcha.
So important to have.
Well, and important what you just said before to note is that it can help you when you go buy your home and possibly get a discount there because you have the track record with the rental policy.
Right.
It's very good to know. Something I didn't know.
Most people don't.
Yeah.
I only do because I'm in the industry.
Right. That makes sense. So, fast forwarding to when someone does become, a homeowner or is entering into that, that first time buyer buying a home, what should they be looking at when they're shopping around for insurance?
An agent, I think, because that's what we're here to do, to help them with those decisions, an advocate, shopping for the best rate. Deductibles. Deductibles have actually become a little complicated over the years. There's a flat deductible, which insurance companies started with, and flat is pretty simple. It's not going up. So if you have a $1,000 deductible, which is going to be your minimum deductible in most cases, and it's the most commonly chosen deductible. Doesn't matter if we insure your house for $350,000 or $1 million, it's a $1,000 deductible.
Right.
But there's a percentage deductible now that's often sold. So the percentage is not based on the amount of the claim, it's based on the amount of the dwelling coverage.
Right, the coverage.
So the dwelling coverage will be set at a cost to rebuild the home. So you might pay $250,000 for your home, but if it takes $350,000 to rebuild it, we're insuring it for that amount.
Right.
So,
which is often the case. I know I've been unpleasantly surprised on most homes I've owned with the rebuild cost versus what I paid for the house. It's like, wait a second. But that makes sense. When you look at construction cost and labor and everything else, it's hard to duplicate a house for what you paid for it these days.
And you'll get a new house if it does.
You'll get a brand new one.
Blow down in a tornado.
So what about, so bundling is a big thing, right? For a discount?
Bundling your home and auto is probably one of the biggest discounts on both the home and the auto policy. So if you're not having an agent look at both pieces, you're probably missing out.
Right.
Also, it gives the agent an opportunity to look at the auto policy, which is where a big gap in coverage can come from on your home.
Right.
So quick ways you can lose your home: fire, tornado, lawsuit. So the homeowner's policy has liability coverage for slips, trips, falls, if you own a dog and it misbehaves. But your auto policy, if it doesn't have enough liability coverage, can end up being a deficiency if you do cause a car accident, and that's a lot more likely to happen. So definitely need to take a look at that.
Yep, I'm learning something here today. Jackie, thank you so much for being on. That was great information.
Well, thank you for having me. Appreciate it.